So today I want to talk about some of my most memorable injuries. So I feel like everyone has went through at least like like major injuries, like maybe they broke their bone or a massive scratch. But I'm going to talk about two, maybe not the most painful, but just mainly the most memorable injuries that I've had. Okay, so first one, this is around elementary school. And outside elementary school, there's like the place where we do sports outside, like a big field. And there's a terrace, and there's under the terrace there's three tables. There's two that are fairly close to each other. You can just like jump. You don't have to. You can jump over it fairly easily. I mean, if you fall, you're just yeah. And there's a third table. The third table is quite further away from the other two tables, and you can jump over it to the other side. It's just a little bit dangerous. Now, everyone, right? They would jump over the ones that are close. But some of the quote unquote cool kids would jump over the big one. People thought it was really cool that people did that. You know, I was one of those people who would jump over the big ones. And well, one day I jumped over it, and then I landed on the edge of the table on my shins and my knees. Uh, yeah, that was not very that was not very fun. So after I did that, my friends were like, "Oh shit, yeah, you don't look very good." Cause like I was on the ground, literally screaming. I don't know about if I don't know if I cried, but I was pretty much screaming. It wasn't good. I was bleeding a lot. So the nurse came, and then like she stopped the bleeding, bandaged me up, and then because it's elementary school, right? You go to the nurse's office, you sleep there for like an hour, rest up, and then you go back to whatever you're doing. So yeah, she bandaged me up. I had bandages for like at least 3 days or 4 days. I don't remember exactly. And I know I got my bandages on. Yeah, to this day the scars are still there. Yeah, it's an interesting time. I did not learn my lesson. Kept on jumping on top of the tables, but did end up like every time I go to my friends, I keep mentioning the fact that I had a major injury there. I do another thing I remember about it is when I was walking, well, when I was being dragged to the nurse's place, I was I know that I left a blood trail. I think I left a blood trail. I'm pretty sure I did. Okay, here's a second injury. This is more of a mental injury, I think, like a mental scar. Like okay, here. This happened around a year ago. I was in PE class doing street hockey, and this is also kind of an embarrassing story. Just the way it happened is just ridiculous. But so we're doing a shooting practice, like shooting the hockey puck, or it was not puck, it was a ball, but shooting it into the goal. We take turns, and then as I did, I was putting the ball into the my game crashed. Well, I was putting the ball into the goal, right? And then I tripped on nothing. I swear, I tripped on nothing. So I ended up just like falling onto the ground, and I sprained my ankle. At the time I thought it was a normal sprain, but I'll continue that from there. So I fell on the ground, fell on nothing, and it really hurt. I heard a like a bone cracking. Not it didn't crack, but bone cracking sound. You can probably imagine what that is. And yeah, so I did that, and then my teacher was like, "Yo, you good?" And then my friends were like, "Yo, you good?" I'm like, "No, I'm not good." So they dragged me to the nurse's office. They checked. So it was really swollen, like really swollen. I sprained my ankle a lot in my life, but that was the worst kind of swollenness I've had ever. So yeah, the nurse bandaged it up, put this little pad on where it's like a I don't know how to explain this, but when you have a sore neck, or when you have something sore, or when you have a, when something's swollen, you put this pad on it. It's not really an ice, but it's kind of like an ice, and there's like chemicals in it that helps it kind of heal and cool it down. So yeah, she put that on, and then put bandages on it. So for around 4 days, I couldn't walk. Well, I couldn't walk on it at least. Yeah. And because of that, I couldn't attend one of the filming sessions where we were filming a superhero scene, and that was like supposed to be a major scene. I had a lot of directing notes that I was gonna give to them, but because of my leg, I couldn't really go. So yeah, but the superhero scene turned out pretty decent still. Either way, it's turned out very nicely. And I think I can't confirm this for sure, but I'm like 99% sure that I ripped my ligament just a bit, just a little bit, because the amount of swell, you can't swell that much just for a normal sprained ankle. I probably ripped something internally, most likely. So, moral of the story, uh, the nurse doesn't always ice everything. Yeah, that's all I got to say.